Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. We're in the small little West Kootenay community of Burton. You can see over on the left here, this is kind of their main intersection. That's mailboxes and stuff. But we're going to head south and we're going to head down to a place called Fauquier. And that's where there's a ferry that goes across Lower Arrow Lake. And it goes to another community called Needles. It's often referred to just as the Needles Ferry. Now this little area here, this whole kind of region like Burton and Fauquier, they're both communities that had to be moved because there was a dam built in the late 60s, 68. So they had to move what they wanted to save and move it away from these old town locations. These places go back quite a ways. Like this Fauquier was a ranch. A guy named Frederick Fauquier started a ranch there in 1905, and it officially became a community in 1910. I read somewhere that in 1930 there was about 100 residents here, so, not really small for a community like this in this area. Now there's, a lot of things that this area is known for, mainly mining and logging, but originally I think this ranch, he had a large amount of fruit trees, so he had like an orchard, and it kind of started a few other people moving to the area and doing that as well. But it would have been interesting to see what it looked like before the town was submerged, but I don't know what all was there, but I think they moved a church and maybe a couple other buildings up out of the way. It's basically, this is Lower Arrow Lakes, and Upper and Lower Arrow Lakes are basically just widenings of the Columbia River. So here you get a really nice view of it here. So it would have just been Columbia River before the dam in 68. And that's just, what's it called? Keenleyside Dam. It's just kind of west of Castlegar. It is a golf course up here, campground, store, all kinds of stuff. So I know a lot of people do fish in these lakes here as well. So kokanee, rainbow trout, dolly varden. You can get some really big trout in these lakes too. I like this part of the drive from Burton south. It gets closer to the mountains and it's closer to the water in spots, but it's a little bit nicer than the drive from Nicusp south. Previous video I did. Put a link to that video as well. There's another channel that's claiming the footage is theirs of me driving. Completely ridiculous, but anyway. Enough about that. So this is the beginning of October, first week of October 2020, and a little bit of a few rain showers here and there. I don't think they were going to be affected a whole lot this time. Road's a little wet, that's about it. But I'm not going to do a whole lot of yapping. You can just enjoy the scenery and the mountains on the west side of the lake are the Monashee Mountains, and the mountains on this side of the lake are the Selkirk Mountains, the east side of the lake. We're going to be going right up to where the ferry docks here. The ferry runs every half hour, I think between 6 in the morning and 10 at night. And every half hour, I think it's 30 cars, something like that it takes. But you never know if you got a big logging truck or a bunch of RVs and stuff, it's going to affect how many people are getting on. And it's free, which is kind of cool. And they're you just line up, first come first serve kind of thing. You don't get out of your vehicle. Actually, I'm going to put a link in the description for all the inland ferries in BC. So kind of interesting. This one's a cable operated ferry. The one that went from Shelter Bay to Galena, that's south of Revelstoke, so you can kind of connect up with this, do a loop. That was actually like a powered ferry, like a diesel ferry. This one here, it's probably diesel as well, but it uses cables, and it just pulls itself across the lake. There's a bunch of them like that, and there's even ferries called reaction ferries, where they're just using the current of the river to pull it across. There's a number of those, some really small ones too, that just take a couple of vehicles. Places like Big Bar, had to go there once years ago. Not right crossing the Fraser. Anyway, those are kind of interesting. But I'll put a link in the bottom to that site. It's kind of neat. If you're planning a trip, you can always see what's around, take one of those. Kind of interesting. I think they originally wanted to do a bridge down here, but they couldn't justify the cost. And with the ferry going back and forth, I know there's been a bit of controversy, with the province wanting to quit operating it or start charging people. And they even looked at doing another bridge, but then I think steel prices went up or something, and they decided just to keep running the ferry. So who knows how many more years you can do these sorts of things for free anyway. They don't get much for free, it seems like, anymore, so it's kind of surprising when you do. starting to see a few houses and little roads and stuff, so you know you're basically getting into town. I've never really done any poking around here to see what's available, but I know there's a gas station and stuff like that, store, a few other things, but and like I say, campground on this golf course. But you know, I'm probably like everybody else, or majority of people are just blasting through here trying to get somewhere. But maybe on my next trip through here I'll stop in the campground and hang around for a bit and see, do some exploring. So Fauquier is spelled F-A-U-Q-U-I-E-R, but it's kind of pronounced as if it was spelled F-O-L-K-I-E-R. That's what I read online. Yeah, so we're just heading down to the ferry terminal, I guess you could call it, or it's basically just the highway ends and the ferry sitting there. But I think this will end this video. We'll pick it up here and cross over in the next one. You can see there's a ferry just arriving because the cars are all coming along here. That's a good way of telling when you're getting close. Close to town. If there's a bunch of cars all bunched together, you've probably missed the ferry. You know, I did that in the last stretch there, going to that Shelter Bay ferry. It's like, just missed it. But anyway, every half hour, no big deal here. But thanks for watching. If you like this kind of thing, think about subscribing and give it a like. Always appreciate that. I'll catch you on the next one.